We got a real shocker at the top of our list. Afghanistan's inflation rate is actually negative. Folks, it's minus 4.6%. That means prices are going down in this country, not up. We'll break down how they reach this remarkable number and see where else on the list we can find some surprises. You know how sometimes you're saving up for a big purchase, like a car or a down payment on a house? Well, if inflation is low, your money goes further and your savings can actually buy what it's supposed to. A negative inflation rate of minus 4.6% means that the things you need are getting cheaper, so you can get more bang for your buck. This is great news for anyone trying to stretch their budget or make progress on long-term financial goals. We're seeing some countries with impressively low inflation rates. Seychelles takes the second spot on our list with a rate of minus 1%, which means prices are actually decreasing there. This is a significant drop, and it's setting the stage for even lower numbers in other countries like Afghanistan, where we'll see an inflation rate of minus 4.6% next. We're seeing some really interesting numbers here. Bahrain's inflation rate is at 0.1%, which is actually one of the lowest we've seen so far. This tells us that they're doing something right in terms of managing their economy, and it's definitely worth taking a closer look to see what lessons can be learned from their approach. We're seeing some really low inflation numbers around the world, and China's no exception with its 0.2% rate. This is actually a pretty stable figure, but it's worth noting that we've got even lower rates elsewhere, like in Afghanistan where inflation is actually negative at minus 4.6%. We're seeing some countries with impressively low inflation rates, and Brunei Darussalam's 0.4% is right up there. This number suggests that prices are staying relatively stable, which could be a big relief for consumers. But we're not done yet, because it looks like things get even better from here. We're seeing some very low inflation rates around the world, and Macau's Special Administrative Region of China is right there with 0.5%. That's just 1/10 of a percentage point above Brunei Darussalam, which has an even lower rate of 0.4%. This suggests we might be getting closer to finding countries where inflation isn't even a concern. Let's take a look at this chart. We've got some countries with really low inflation rates here. Overall, the shape of this chart is pretty flat, with most of these countries hovering around 0%. That means prices aren't rising or falling too much. It's a stable economic environment for people living in these places. Let's look at the numbers. We're back to Afghanistan, where inflation is actually shrinking by a significant minus of 4.6%. That's right, prices are dropping, not rising. This is one of the lowest rates we've seen so far, and it's definitely worth noting. If you're living in Afghanistan or Seychelles, you might be seeing prices drop. That's what negative inflation means. In countries like Bahrain, with very low inflation, your money can go a bit further because prices aren't rising as quickly. And if you're in one of these places, it's worth keeping an eye on the economy to see how long this trend continues. Let's take a look at some countries with low inflation rates. According to the numbers, Afghanistan has seen a significant drop of minus 4.6%, while Seychelles has experienced a slight decrease of minus 1%. Meanwhile, Bahrain is holding steady with an inflation rate of 0.1%. It's essential to note that these figures are based on specific assumptions and don't account for real-world market fluctuations, which can be unpredictable. It looks like we're flipping the script on inflation, folks. Countries with negative inflation rates are a rare sight, but Afghanistan takes the cake with minus 4.6%. That's right, prices are actually decreasing in this country. Seychelles is close behind at minus 1%. On the other end of the spectrum, Bahrain and China both have inflation rates under 1%, with 0.1% and 0.2% respectively. And if you're looking for a more modest decrease, Burkina Faso's got that covered with 0.7%. That's the math nobody shows you.